this to the cloud. And yeah, Chris, thanks so much for agreeing to come on to this Zoom call with me. For anyone who does not know who either one of us are, we'll start with a little introduction. And I'll start by introducing you. This is one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world, friend, mentor, coach. This guy is been a Tantra teacher, a martial arts instructor, and pretty humble about that, considering he is in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And he's been teaching Tantra longer than I've been alive. One distinct thing that I remember about you, Chris, is one time you talked about when you moved to San Diego, and I was thinking to myself, I was barely a drip in the world at that point, because I think you said you came to San Diego in 73 or 74.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I was born in 73, so that just struck out.
You're old.
Yeah, so without further ado, yeah, this is my buddy Chris. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
uh, I don't know. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
That's fair enough, man. Well, thanks so much for agreeing to do this Zoom live with me. What I really wanted to do this and just do a recording real quick, because the last time we tried to do a live, we had a shitty internet connection. It just was horrible, and the recording came out stuttering. So
Oh,
I
that's
want
right. Yeah.
I would like you to give a little bio, and then we're going to talk about your upcoming workshop. I really want more people to know about your workshop. So first, I'm going to talk about the workshop and why I want people to know about it. And I don't know if you know this, but what I'm going to share is, why, because I recall probably some years ago, I was dating someone who, let's just say they had some extraordinary skills in the bedroom. And I was incredibly impressed. And I said, well, I thought I was being funny when I said, where did you learn this stuff? And she goes, oh, do you know Chris Luth?
That's hilarious.
And this is where we are, after Bliss Glow, we had just made love for quite some time, and we were kicking back and we were having this conversation, and she's telling me this, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just an interesting time to share about another lover. And she was like, no, he's not a lover, he's my teacher. I took some classes, and he's amazing, and all of the massage techniques that I learned on you, I learned from him. And yeah, you should take his class if you ever meet him and you ever get to know him. And I'm like, well, I do know him. Yeah, I know who he is. I've never taken any of his classes. At that point I hadn't, anyway. So I was like, yeah, I want to take those classes. And then I remember talking to you about it, and and I was going to take your first class, and you had said, yeah, I primarily work with singles, because I feel like single people are the ones who could really use these skills, like who doesn't need to be a better lover. And that opened up another conversation in general, where people started talking about, I think that men in general feel like they're expected to just know what to do. And and the downside to that is that if a man doesn't know what to do, usually his ego is too much in the way, and he'll get his ideas for sex education from pornography, which I think at this point we all know doesn't really show how it's not intimacy. It's meant for the camera. True intimacy is usually quite boring for the camera. It's not exciting to watch. So what you see in porn is not foreplay. It's not aftercare. It's not what is required to get your partner turned on. And so I remember talking to you about it. I was like, yeah, this totally coincides with what I believe, what I know, and I'm excited. So I was like, when is your next class? And we had just come out of the pandemic, and you're like, well, I'm doing a class in North County. It's going to be outdoors, since the pandemic is kind of making us do outside. So we did that whole first class. I'm sure you remember, in
Yeah.
the backyard of that guy's yard, and it was it was epic. It really was. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if I ever shared with you, but that my first experiences of knowing what your work is and what you
N- No,
taught.
I never heard that. I never heard that story. That was really funny. That was really interesting. And I do remember those outdoor events. It was actually pretty cool because we had so many. We put up all those tents, and there was like
Yeah,
6 or 8 tents. Whatever, not tents, but the stuff you have at
pop-ups.
festivals, pop-ups put together, and mattresses all over. Yeah, it was great fun.
Oh yeah, we were out there in the sun with our coconut oil and getting suntans and massages at the same time. Two for
Yeah,
one
yeah,
special.
that was great. That was great.
Uh, yeah, so Chris, let me just turn it over to you. Like, let's talk about your work and what you're bringing to the table here, because I think some people, once they hear about it, they're gonna want to come.
Okay. Well, I'll try and get this as succinctly as I can. I mean, just a quick piece of background. I started learning this stuff when I was a early teenager. My mother was an early teacher in these fields, tantra, meditation, qigong, so on like that. So myself and my younger sisters began learning it when we were very young. She was teaching me meditation and things like that in, I don't know, when I was like 14, 15, something like this. And then in 1974, when I turned 17, she kind of turned me over to her teacher, her master. Um, and I kind of went into a 10-year intensive program. I lived like in an ashram and went into a 10-year intensive program studying, you know, all sorts of stuff from Tantra to Eastern mysticism, psychology, philosophy. Uh, I also started my Qigong and internal martial arts studies at that time also. So this all happened in 1974, actually all in the same week. I mean, I'd already started with my mom,
Wow.
but this all, I first class was on Tuesday morning, and then the martial arts internal and Qigong classes were on Thursday afternoon, and that was it. So within 2.5 days or something like that, it all started. And I mean, I had been doing this stuff sort of before, but I guess it all started in a formal, intensive format with her teacher, with this master that I was working with. So, yeah, it was a big 1 week kind of blast, or just blast off, I guess I should say. And so I did 10 years, living in an ashram situation, learning all that stuff. So it was a kind of college and graduate school level education in psychology and all these things, and continued on. In 1977, I started teaching Qigong and internal martial arts myself. In 1979, I opened up a school that's still running to this day. And so, yeah, that first from 74 to about 84, I was involved with all those arts, the Tantra and everything. And from about 84 to mm, 84 to mid 90s, I took a break from teaching anything in the Tantra field and just stayed with the internal martial arts work for a bit. So I had about a 10-year break during my marriage and so on. And then in the mid 90s, I went back into working additionally with the Tantra, along with all the internal martial arts and Qigong and all that. So there was as far as the Tantra work, there was about a 10-year gap in the middle where I paused a lot of it. I didn't pause my own practice, but I paused some of the teaching. And then back in the mid 90s, I kind of went back to teaching both those things quite a lot. Um, what else could I say? I don't know. I forgot. I'm not
That's
sure
okay.
what I was supposed to say.
I'm lost in your story already. That's okay though. Yeah, so you lived here in San Diego, lived and taught here in San Diego. I remember you had a house up in Solana Beach, and
Right.
about 7 or 8 years ago, you decided it was time for a new chapter in life, closed up and
Well, yeah,
moved.
the universe decided for me. The landlords came down and said, "We're taking our house back after 20 years."
To
And
live in
so
to live in a rental house though for 20 years, I think that a lot of people just assumed you owned the place because you lived there for so long. You were pretty dug in.
that's right. Yeah. So that was basically a tantric temple that I was sort of loosely running. I say loosely running in the sense that it wasn't like I didn't want to be a leader of any sort, because in my business life, a teaching life, I was obviously the teacher and the master traveling around the world and blah blah blah. So I had this, the majority of my life was this responsibility to workshops and students all over the world, all over Europe, Australia, the US, so on like this, Central America. And I didn't want my home personal life to be that also. Like I needed a break from being the boss, so to speak, or whoever, the person that everybody goes to. So when I was running the Bouncing Buddha Tantric Temple area, I tried to do that as leaderlessly as possible and as loosely as possible, because I did not want every aspect of my life to be filled with being the answer guy or the whatever. I needed a social life that was not at all connected to my work, if that was possible. And so that's sort of how that one went.
I totally feel you on that one. Trying to have a social life not connected to work is a work-life balance that I'm currently struggling with.
Right. I bet.
Totally get it. And I recently, side note, just a date had asked if I would do a Zoom session with her, and I just cringed. I was like, I do a lot of stuff on Zoom for work. I don't want to go do a Zoom date with somebody I'm romantically interested in. It felt, whoa, okay. Like I work, I'm on the computer all the time. Can we phone call?
Yeah, right.
I'm a Gen X guy. We used to have a phone with a long cord plugged into the wall, and you had to hide in the closet in order to have a private conversation when your family was around, right? I'm like, I kind of miss those days. I
Right.
just want to have a good old fashioned phone call, but yeah, no Zoom. So yeah, but you live now full time in Thailand and come out to the U.S. like once a year, tour out for
Twice a year.
twice a year, and tour around, do these workshops, and then run back to Thailand to live for the rest of the year. And a lot of people don't realize that you were not a U.S. citizen and you're only around a little bit at a time. So I want to get your face in front of as many people as possible, so that more people understand what you do and why they should come to this upcoming workshop. Um, I'm going to start by saying, like, for anyone that does not know Chris or know his work, he's got a couple of different workshops. There are 3 different ones that are a series. You don't have to do them in any specific order. But the first one is a pretty easy learning very specific massage techniques. And then the second one, it gets a little bit more intimate. And then the third one gets a whole lot more intimate. It's a bit on the risque side, which is why this workshop is primarily for couples. Every once in a while, we have singles who are like, "Can I even get into the workshop?" And we're like, "Well, we will put you in a conversation with somebody else that's interested in attending the workshop, but it's up for you guys to work that out, because this is a little bit, it's on the edgy side. But if you talk to each other and you decide to come together, cool. But we're not pairing you up with somebody at the workshop, is how I understood it anyway. But I'm excited. I've taken all 3 classes, and the result of which is, well, I mean, I've written you a testimonial for your use in
Right.
your site. I use this material both in my professional and personal life, and I've had smiles and sighs and moans and groans of absolute delight and pleasure from my partner. And she is actually going to be taking the class with me. It's coming up one, but yeah, I've done enough.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I've done enough setup for it. Why don't you tell everyone about the classes?
Okay. Well, it's a tantric massage system, or a sensual massage system, if you wish, that I developed over the last, I don't know, 15 plus years now. And it has 3 levels to it. The first level is a sequence, about a 50-minute long sequence of massage techniques that are designed to take a person from, cold, walk off the street cold, to burning hot after 55 minutes. And I don't mean, I don't mean 75 degrees or 80 degrees burning hot. I mean internally. And so that's part 1. Is that part 2 is manual genital massage. So this is kind of where part 1 ends. We pick up where somebody's whole body is opened up physically and then energetically and sexually. The energy is flowing, and people are ready for, very powerful full body orgasms or transformational orgasms or orgasmic energy to be transferred through their body very strongly at that point. And so part 2, and these are all 2-day workshops, like a Saturday and Sunday all day. Part 2 is manual genital massage mastery and erotic anatomy and physiology. And part 3 is oral genital massage mastery and erotic anatomy and erotic response and so on. And they are, I really am a strong supporter of singles being able to access this information. So I used to, 8 or 9 years ago, we could go to places like the Bay Area and have singles sign up and pair up. And they were, particularly in the Bay Area, pretty comfortable pairing up with strangers, even with the intimate stuff. But times have changed a bit, and I don't feel like it's appropriate for me, for many reasons, to be just having people pair up randomly at my workshop for the real intimate stuff. On part 1, level 1, we do take singles straight as it is, and we keep it, so that people will be paired up in the workshop for, a 3-hour chunk at a time. So Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, you get a different partner each time. But for the part 2 and part 3, which were much more, intimate sexually, I don't feel that it's appropriate for me to pair people up randomly. So I have had to turn those into couples and prepared singles. So people can register as singles, but they will have to, buy a ticket. They go on to put you on a Facebook matching page where, like a private page where I put all the singles that sign up, and you can go on there and see if you can, send a message to somebody you might want to pair with and go get a cup of coffee, see if you are a good match for the workshop. Unfortunately, because of the level of intimacy, that particular approach is only marginally successful. So I do encourage people to try and find a partner among their friends, because it's pretty tricky for most people to pair up with random strangers for something this sexually intimate. So I do have to say that I want the singles to be there. I want this information available for everybody. And I'm probably one of the few Tantra teachers that actually does allow singles and tried to make a real effort to get the singles paired up, rather than just having my workshops be couples only, couples only, couples only. I kind of don't like that personally, that approach. I feel it's very limiting, and it's just not fair to half the population, at least, So,
Yeah, I totally get that.
so there's that, and I'm really one of the only Tantra teachers I know of that will teach these levels: the manual genital, the oral genital massage, in a realistic, live, hands-on, mouths-on. You're going to do this and really, really learn this type level. The closest I've seen any teachers get to it is they say, well, you're going to sit and you're going to watch a demo, and the teacher will demo on somebody or something like that. But most teachers are not comfortable actually having people really learn it hands-on, get feedback, correct it, so on like that. And that's sort of what I'm all about. I'm a technician. That's my teachers, my masters that I worked with, taught that way. And so, if you're a martial arts teacher, particularly internal martial arts, it's highly technical material. So my training is that, and being, like a highly trained technician. So when I do my Tantra work or approach sexuality or Tantra, I approach it not just from a, energetic, fluid, joyous, so on like that standpoint, but from a very, very technical standpoint, because I think it makes a huge difference. If you have the right information and the right instruction, you're going to learn infinitely faster. And it's going to be lot more fun if you are feeling that you're successful at what you're learning. If I don't give you the right information, if it's not technical enough, if it's just general, or it's just a demonstration, I might be a sweet guy and have a great attitude or something like that. But it's not going to be as much fun for you if you feel like you're stumbling through it or you're not sure that you're getting it. So I make sure that people get this in total clarity with extensive instruction and a workbook and everything like that. And I beg people for questions so that we can try and, fill in any piece of information, missing information that might be there. Okay, that was a long wrap, but I just wanted to say
No,
it.
it's okay. It's okay, Chris. This is amazing, and it's important to get it out there. So primarily this coming up workshop, it's pretty intimate, kind of risque. So it's open to singles. It's a couples workshop. If you're interested in attending, you would have to find a partner before
Well,
you attend.
I would say, I'm just going to butt in for a minute. I don't call it a couples workshop. I wouldn't classify it as that. It's
Yeah.
it's for pre-partnered individuals.
Okay.
Pre-partnered individuals. I don't care if you're a couple. I don't care if you're single. I don't care who you are. I want everybody to be able to be there. All you need to do is you just need to come paired up with somebody, and it makes no difference to me who they are. So I hesitate to
So
call it a couples workshop.
right, and I get it. And there's never a shortage of single guys who are, hey, like I want to sign up for this workshop. Where we sometimes struggle is getting single ladies to uh, come on board. So, and I get it. I understand for women, it's a bit of a challenge, but there are definitely women out there who are interested in this work. So, what can we say to single women who might be interested and try to answer any questions that women might have about this?
Right. Well, I would say two things. One is, again, we're not just talking about heterosexual pairing. Um, Two men, two women, two unidentified individuals. I don't care who shows up. You can be paired with anybody. It's completely irrelevant. So it's really, we're working with sexual energy. We're working with sexual energy in the body and the genitals that whatever individual has. And there's instruction on both male genitalia. There's instruction in both, penises and lingams and the whole sexual system, including the biology and science behind it, behind also the latest information on sexual response, both for penis owners and for vagina owners. So it's, who's paired with who and what they do, I could care less.
Like,
We're all talking about the same thing here. We're just talking about the sexual energy system within human bodies. And anybody who wants to come anybody with anybody, I mean, if it's you and your dog, I haven't had to deal with that yet. I'm not sure, but I guess I'm open to it. I don't know, but the as far as the container and everything, um, and you've seen this, JJ, but people get comfortable really quick. Probably because of the length of time I've been doing this, and because my matter of fact um, comfort level with this subject matter and with sexuality, people get comfortable very, very quickly. People who are nervous and so on coming in get comfortable very quickly. Uh, I think they feel very safe right away. I mean, I've got tons of testimonies you'll see on the event pages and so on like that from people saying, "Hey, I was a total stranger. I came in and I felt at ease immediately." Blah blah blah. So what I can say is I can promise you that if you're a single, whether you're male or female or whatever, is that I think you will feel comfortable very very quickly. And the people that attend these are many of them have attended other events before like this or my events, and it's just it we end up with a great crowd every time. I never have any problems with odd people there or people with funny energy. It's just always a really pleasant group, and boundaries are set very clearly and established at the beginning of the workshop and even beforehand in a pre-event information that's sent out and so on. But with these last two, like this level 3 one coming up, the oral genital one, people are coming prepared. So your pairing and your relationship that you established with this other individual, even if it was over a cup of coffee or whatever, uh, you're coming in with that relationship, and I will hold a really safe space for you and provide a whole lot of information and keep it lighthearted and fun.
I appreciate you, Chris, so much. So for anyone listening, they might want to sign up, we should probably tell them the when and the where and how to get a hold of you. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
You got two more minutes?
sure.
Okay. So I also want to say this is that I know that this is an intimate subject for sure, and a delicate one, and it's also one that people, many people feel like, well, I got this down, I got this figured out, and so on like that. I don't need instruction in this. And for starters, we can always get better at whatever we're doing, and
Yeah,
so that's good. And the thing is, people who are professionals, like I played professional ice hockey at one point, and I've been a professional martial arts competitor, and so on. People who are at a high end in their field, um, they like when I attend workshops, let's say in the martial arts realm, I go to a workshop thinking, because there's certain content I might be interested in, right? I don't expect that the entire workshop is going to be filled with things that I don't know. As a matter of fact, I expect that I will know the majority of what's being taught in that workshop. I expect that I will, after 52 or 3 years or whatever it is of martial arts, I expect that I'll know 90+% of it. I mean, it's just the reality. But I'm going there because there's 10 or 20% that I might not know.
yeah,
And that's where the edge where professionals and people who are very advanced in their arts are working at. 10 or 20%. If I go to a workshop and I get 20% more information, I've just lucked out. I have just scored. That's just like, oh my God, that was best thing I've done in years, kind of thing. So even if you think you're really good at this, I guess what I would say is like keep that in mind is that for people who are really good, the thing that distinguishes you from those kind of others in your kind of category is that 10 or 20% that you might find that you might improve with that other people don't. So I know that everybody who's coming is an adult. I know that they know the basics of what we're doing here, but my job has basically been that I travel around the world studying this stuff, and I'm gathering from you know many countries and cultures around the world. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago in Thailand, I learned a new technique or trick
oh
for
wow.
yeah. I was like, my God, there it is. I was like, I've never seen that done before. And it was good. It was really good. And I was like, how did I, how come I didn't see this before?
Are you going to be
So
teaching that one?
yeah, that's going in the workshop, and it's for women. It's for, oral genital massage on a lingam, on a penis. And the, yeah, so I was really pleasantly surprised and pleased with that. So I study this in all these cultures, so many countries and cultures around the world. And, you know, honestly, because I've given it that much attention, and you'll see it kind of buried in the promo material. That two things I guess I want to say. One, this is not just for giving attention to a vulva, clitoris, a yoni. It is just as much detailed and complex information on giving attention to a penis or a lingam. So this is just not just for guys or just for women. It is, I'd say, 50-50, dead down the middle. If you are a woman, you are going to learn. I promise you, you will learn some things that you have not seen before. Okay. And that will, and I'm not talking about, peripheral stuff. I'm talking about like, real powerful game changing stuff. And the same thing as if you're a guy. I train workers in this field. I mean, to put it, bluntly, I train sex workers all over the world, and in many of my classes, people who engage in this professionally, along with also, Joe Blow and Jane Doe. And, I have a couple of different professional businesses, and not in my business, but in Thailand, where I train some of their workers. I've got students there, uh, and um, and kind of all over. So I can pretty much, you know, I feel very confident promising you that whether you're a um, you know, whatever type of genitals you love to play with, may it be both of them, right? That I promise you, you will learn some things that are very substantial that you probably have not seen before, and will make quite a bit of difference.
Oh.
So I can kind of make you that guarantee, and feel free to test me on it.
I love it. I love it, Chris. That is one heck of a guarantee. That's some confidence there. I appreciate it. Uh, yeah. And it's important too, because I think right in the beginning I was saying a lot of people feel like, well, I know what I'm doing in the bedroom, and we can always get better. You can always get a little bit better. And what you were saying, I think, kind of aligns with my own belief system and my own training in the martial arts. That like if you show up to the dojo with a full cup, there's nothing to put in there. You're not going to learn anything. But if you arrive with that mindset of the empty cup, you'll leave fulfilled. You'll have something new to use, and maybe something you learned in the past, and you learn it in a new and different way. And I think
That's true. That too. Yeah.
yeah, uh, yeah. Well, the win and the where. Yeah,
Okay. I'm pulling it up right now on my phone so I can give it to you right.
I know you've got a
Um,
couple of them coming up. Like you're touring,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I've got. So the tantric oral genital massage mastery and erotic anatomy and response. So there's a lot of scientific data in there also, and understanding the real scientific makeup of the genitals and the response system, because that's kind of important too. If you don't know that, then in detail, then, or let's put it this way: if you know that in detail, you're going to be a lot more effective with your techniques and with everything. And this is really a very comprehensive course. I believe, as far as I know, it is the most complete and comprehensive course out there that I've seen anywhere in the world. So this is and I'm one of the only people I've seen who's kind of whatever ballsy enough, I guess, to teach this stuff publicly and have people work on themselves and each other. But so this is an unusual event. I don't think you can find a duplicate. I'd be surprised if you found one anywhere. I haven't seen one. The workshop in San Diego is the 15th and the 16th, so that's a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
And it's Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 6:30. The workshop in Oakland or Berkeley is on the 29th. Let me pull it up here. 29th and 30th. Same workshop, but on the 29th and 30th in the Berkeley area. So, it's the same workshop in both locations. Again, you get a workbook and everything like that, and you'll be practicing, getting feedback, and it's like going to a sexy and fun medical school. Something
Yeah.
like that, or chiropractic college. I mean, it's very professional course, and very detailed and very well um, presented as far as boundaries and professionalism and everything. But we laugh plenty, and it's fun and sexy, and you learn great stuff.
Nice. I love it, Chris. Um, yeah. And so
Oh, oh,
I,
I
I
forgot
want to
to
make
tell you, there is one other workshop on Sunday, March 23rd, which is my Tantra energetics and energy-based Tantric touch workshop in Vista, California on March 23rd. That's a less advanced course. It is not pairs only. Singles can sign up for that. And so that's a possibility also. It's a 1-day course, but it is nowhere near as detailed, intimate, and spectacular as these weekend courses. I just have to let you know.
Yeah, so that one is more of it would be clothes on white tantra.
Yeah, yeah, they'll for some of the massage work we're going to do, clothes might be off, but it's not that sexually intimate at all.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah,
I'll yeah. I will collect the links from you, Chris, and when I upload this to the different places it's going to get uploaded, those links will be in the comments section or in the description wherever I post it. And then I'll also put a link back to your Facebook profile. That is the best way to reach you through your Facebook, correct?
yeah, sure, on Messenger and something like that. Yeah.
what if somebody doesn't have Facebook? Because believe it or not, there are some people out there who don't have Facebook.
Right. So we're going to put the links. I guess the links I'll give you will be ones to the Eventbrite pages. The Eventbrite pages have all of the same data as the Facebook pages.
Okay.
Plus, they'll have my email should be on there too, so they can contact me by email. My preference is to, email is not my preference, but if that's the only way we can contact each other, that's fine. I might also send you my WhatsApp number at that point, so we can contact that way if needed. But yeah, the email will be there, and it should be on all the event pages.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris Luth. I love you, brother. It's always so much fun to talk to you and download the infinite wisdom you have collected over the years from around the world. And I'm excited to host you in a week and a half. And I look forward to it. And I'm hoping that some people watch this video and are excited. And you can also reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to find, the Heart Centered Being, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. It's the exact same thing. And then the domain, theheartcenteredbeing.com. So you can reach out to me through any of those platforms, and then email for me as well as connect@theheartcenteredbeing.com. And I can always put you in touch directly with Chris. And again, thank you, brother. I'm excited, and it just started raining here in San Diego. I hear it, and yeah, welcome back home.
All right. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you. I can't wait to see you next week, man.
All right, all right.